Welcome to In Conversation, folks. We come to you from Washington, D.C. My name is Ramesh Bhutani.
And I'm Shilpa Alimchandani.
Folks, President Obama has spoken about his intentions in Afghanistan. And as he said, it will take a few years, but get out he must. He will send 30,000 troops up there, but he says that he wants to finish this Al-Qaeda-Taliban alliance that is straggling the borders of Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Well, you know, this was a major topic of conversation between President Obama and Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. And it seems that the Indian government is in support of stronger action in Afghanistan, especially given, you know, it's the 1-year anniversary of the Mumbai attacks and this need to really crack down on terrorists and the havoc that they've caused in South Asia. That being said, I don't know that continued engagement and this 30,000 more troops will really make the difference. You yourself just said, you know, the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan. What is that? Does it exist? I mean, as far as we're concerned, that was a line drawn by colonists in the mountains saying that this is one country and this is a second country. But really, they're all mixed together.
They are mixed together, and it's supposed to be a UN war, you know. But I don't see too many countries contributing to that. Well, it's like America alone.
And in Europe, I think they'll have a lot of tough time trying to convince the public to support more efforts in Afghanistan. This is losing in public opinion.
I mean, of course, public opinion has been against President Obama when it comes to the war in Afghanistan. President Bush increased it in Iraq. He's increasing it in Afghanistan. Hopefully we get the rightful results, but I still really think it's the neighbors that need to take care of them. Outsiders cannot come in and, you know, sort of bestow order. It might be for a short term, but after they are gone, all the vagabonds will come out.
I suppose he thinks this war is winnable, but I remain very skeptical. I don't know what success looks like. I think that's why I still am skeptical. You know, we heard President Obama, he makes a compelling case, but what does it look like to win or to be successful in a region of the world where no one else has been successful?
That's true. I mean, I have heard that we will have more soldiers there than when Russia pulled out of their hat. And we'll also have more soldiers than the Taliban that's fighting us. And with each soldier costing $1 million. That's $30 billion just in 1 year. And we've been between Iraq and Afghanistan, we've been there 8 years, man. That's a lot of billions of dollars that we have spent.
I would like to be hopeful and say let's put our, you know, support behind President Obama, but remain skeptical at the same time.
I think we should put pressure on President Karzai over in Afghanistan to get his government in shape, get his soldiers in shape, let him take over from America. You know, but there was a quote that I really liked that came out from Slate, and it talks about that the Pakistan would have to still decide which was its true enemy, the Taliban-Al-Qaeda alliance or the Indo-American one.
That's a good question.
And what do you think of the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's visit?
Well, you know, there was so much fanfare, of course, about the state dinner, and everything looked so grand. I'm frankly disappointed that the importance of Prime Minister Singh's visit was kind of eclipsed by these party crashers who don't deserve the spotlight and any money and attention for what they did. I think it's a shame that not more of our news coverage was on the actual visit and any policy conversations that took place between the two presidents.
You're so right. You know, Washington Post did not carry anything about his 2 days and then carried everything after the incident.
Exactly.
And the reason we are not going to talk about the people who crashed is because we don't want to give them any airspace. But at the same token, people are still asking, was the visit of Prime Minister Manmohan Singh a fizzle or was it a sizzle?
Well, I have not met Prime Minister Singh, and I believe you have. So you tell me, what are your impressions?
I met him, and I want to tell you, he's the simplest guy. He made a fantastic speech, but it was written like a prose, and he read it like a prose he was reading. He didn't get me here, because I thought, you come from the same country,
You thought you'd be touched and moved by his
touched
speech?
and moved, nothing of that sort. But what was the most impressive was the Indian Embassy. The ambassador. Now, this is my 4th time listening to her. I'm extremely impressed with her speeches. She gives such specific speeches. She's got numbers already, and I don't know whether she reads a written speech or not, but she's prepared for it. Much superior to any of her predecessors. Her predecessors, so many of them didn't even know how to speak. So it's kind of fun to see an ambassador who can actually speak properly and on the message.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and go ahead.
I was just thinking, that Manmohan Singh may not be a very dynamic and charismatic speaker. He's known to be a lot more simple and humble. But what I did find touching and moving was that image of Prime Minister Singh and President Obama standing side by side, because both of these men are minorities within their respective countries. Prime Minister Singh is Sikh, and President Obama is African American. So they don't come from the majority population, yet they've risen to the most important positions in the world's leading democracy and the world's largest democracy.
Folks, last weekend, the Thanksgiving weekend, I was watching television, and I came across a film that was being shown and narrated by Fareed Zakaria. It was about Mumbai terror that struck on 26/11. That's like our 9/11 that occurred in New York City. Folks, they had the film entirely of narration. It was a chilling thing that I saw.
Well, what's interesting also, this happened a year ago, and it's hard to believe that much time has passed since the entire city of Mumbai was held